Hit the field, blast off, watch a mom fall. This is AFC North talk. Got me hype, it's about to be a touchdown. Got the Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, and the Browns. Are you listening? It's time to get it hype. Tune in when the season poppin'. Yeah, we going live. Hey, knock 'em out. Hey, first down, going hard. Yes, indeed. AFC North talk. Let's go. Hey, AFC North talk.
Welcome to another edition of AFC North Talk, presented by Chubby's. Chubby's, go get your beautiful team gear, shirt, polo. Also, they have the bathing suits and shorts at Chubby's. We're gonna be talking about them later. Jared, how are you, man?
I'm fantastic.
Ace, how are you, bro?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. You guys catch the Texans Jags game by
You know
chance?
what? Let's start with that before we go, because I know Jared, you left when the whole.
Oh, Jared missed it. He missed
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
It
what
was
happened?
a big thing.
Oh man, you remember how me and
literally
Ace split
said-
rounds? So Ace and Q went rounds
It got crazy. It got crazy.
because of Lawrence versus CJ Stroud.
Right?
Oh,
all I said, Jared, is I said Trevor Lawrence, and CJ Stroud are in a similar boat because CJ Stroud has struggled since his rookie year. Like, he's been throwing interceptions, and Quincy was like, "No, he's way better than Trevor Lawrence." He's so that was about 20 minutes of the show.
Ah,
It was
damn it.
going back and forth about Trevor Lawrence, two guys that aren't even in the AFC North.
I know, like last week we did this. I thought we did something because I was definitely there for a Trevor Lawrence discussion last week at some
Yes.
point.
Yeah,
Because
so-
I have, and now I'll still say the same thing. Since Trevor Lawrence got drafted, even when he was in Clemson, I was not impressed. I had never been impressed with this guy. I think he has his moments. I think he will give you stuff that gets you excited, but in the totality. So I also was agreeing more here with Q. I'm not here gonna front that I was not agreeing with Q, and I still will say what CJ Stroud did in his rookie year. I haven't seen Trevor Lawrence do it for like a season consistently. He might have. I haven't. I don't remember.
No, he had 2 seasons where he threw for 4,000 yards. That's what I was saying. I was like, he's had seasons where he's looked good.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I've never built, and I think people were taking it as I'm a Trevor Lawrence truther. I'm not a Trevor Lawrence truther. I just feel like him and CJ, with them being top picks and getting a lot of notoriety, they just lately have not really lived up to like what their billing is supposed to be. Like, CJ's coming off of the insane rookie season where everybody's like, oh, he's the next guy. He's top 5. He's put himself in the top 5. Like, we've seen these clips going around where people like he was putting himself over Josh Allen. He was trying to little bro Caleb Williams. Like, we're not gonna, and his stats have been
Man,
worse than Caleb Williams.
I did see that
point.
thing that you posted. I did see that.
Yeah, bro, he's thrown like yes, he made the playoffs, and that's fine the second year, but he wasn't good that year. Like, he's been struggling ever since that first year. And that was my main point, was like, if we're gonna say Trevor is struggling, we can't say that CJ isn't struggling at like the same level that Trevor is right now. And that's I feel like both of them are very inconsistent quarterbacks.
If I had to take one going forward, coming into this year, I would have said Stroud. It's getting closer and closer each time. Like, I'm a Trevor guy. I've made that pretty known. They're 0-3, the Texans, and their offense is
0-3. They can't score.
Really
bro.
bad. They can't score. The offensive line's bad, but it's also Stroud's. This is his first year in charge of calling out the protections and whatnot. He hasn't done a good job of doing that.
Yeah, he's missing receivers. Like,
yeah, it's not good.
It's not good. I agree.
They play Tennessee in week 4. They should win, but like, I could see a world where
if they lose,
they lose to Tennessee, bro,
break everything.
Yeah, that's crazy. If
did they just say we're gonna do a sellout? Because this is the problem now.
I don't know about it, like, because they won't fire D'Amico. D'Amico's a good coach, and they've got pieces on defense that are really good. But
so my critique here is to the Texas organization. If you think CJ Stroud's that guy, right? And we understand year 1, he was really, really good. Year 2, it was very inconsistent. Year 3 was just this year. He has looked trashy, right?
He's been awful.
Okay.
He's been awful.
But my point is, for some reason, they went into the draft. I was upset with them because they drafted one of my favorite players, which is Jalen Higgins out of Arizona State, right?
Yep.
But you traded the left tackle Tunsil,
Laramie
and you're
Tunsil.
drafting a receiver.
Well, they took.
Why are you drafting a receiver?
Oh, they took Ariante Urase, left tackle out of
Yep,
Minnesota, in the
next
second
pick.
round as well.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. My point is, you need to build the effing O line. You had Nico Collins.
I don't know what they were doing, bro. I don't know. Like, I saw that it was like, okay, he got sacked a lot. He did get sacked like 60 times or something crazy like that. But I don't think you fixed that problem getting rid of Laramie Tunsil.
But that's my
Wasn't
point.
good.
So that's why I'm critiquing here the organization. If you think you have the quarterback, I always say you have the quarterback. You need to build the O-line second.
Bro,
you can't do what
there are
Andrew Luck.
Texans fans on Twitter clamoring
I
for
saw
Deshaun.
that. I saw what you posted that.
Dumb as
I saw
hell.
that.
Deshaun.
And look, man, I'm not. I say this a lot. I never try to get like high and mighty as like a person who works in football and everything like that. Some fans are the dumbest human beings on earth, and shit like this, where you get so overreactionary. It's bring back shut the fuck up.
Yeah, bring back
Like,
Deshaun is nasty.
That's
It is
absurd.
nasty.
What are we doing?
It's
Like,
disgusting.
come on, man. Same, but and I wrote about it for Sporting News today because some people are doing it with Jordan Love. It's like, bro, the
Because he had
dude is
one bad game?
ungodly. Yeah, like you got Packers
one
fans that are
game.
like, oh man, I can't believe this is my quarterback, bro. I would saw off my left arm to have Jordan Love as my quarterback. Like, let's calm the hell down. People are so reactionary. And like, I'm guilty of it too. Yeah, it's
Well, after a
just the
loss,
nature of-
we all go a little
That's
bonkers
crazy
after a
though,
loss.
because you can't. It's a wild roller coaster to go from we're gonna go undefeated and we're going to the bowl to like right after you lose to the Browns,
like
get rid of Jordan Love. That's kind of crazy.
Like, bro, look at all of the advanced. There are 2 quarterbacks right now in the NFL that are top 10 in CPOE, EPA per dropback, and deep throw percentage. Lamar Jackson and Jordan Love. Like, shut the hell up. If you're a Packers fan, you're like, oh, Jordan Love, dude, you have no idea how lucky you are. You went from Favre to Rodgers to Love. Quit bitching. You're fine. So
They're definitely fine.
it's an overreactionary sport. There's only 17 games, so people are gonna, everyone's incredibly important, and I get that. And I'm kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth because we all do it. But man, some of the overreactions are just insane. So
I will say this: when
pretty
I was
crazy.
watching this game, the Texans game,
Mhm.
the problem that I had with CJ was he was missing like wide open guys, like even bubble screen, right? Like you're missing a bubble screen. Like what's going on? Like legitimately, there was a point like, did this dude need glasses?
Yeah.
Like
I
I'm
think-
not trolling.
I
Like
think
literally, I'm like, you're not seeing?
I was talking to a friend before this. Like you're gonna see similar things from Jaden Daniels. Like when people get that film on you after a year, like these people get paid to do this, bro. Like think about all of these coaches and staff. They're watching, figuring out how can we counter this the next year. And so when you put everything into that first year and it catches people off guard, they're gonna have answers for that the next season, and you're gonna have to have answers to their answers. And if you don't have them, you're gonna struggle. And right now, it's the defensive coordinators have figured guys out, and that's what it is. And that's why it's like I'm backing up off of just putting so much stock in year one, because look at Jaden Daniels now. Like that offense doesn't look anywhere near as explosive and unstoppable as it was year one.
I mean, it's
now
only been
everybody's
2
caught
games
on.
though with him because he was hurt this past week.
Yeah.
I'll hold off on Jaden. I'll hold off on Jaden, but with
But I
CJ,
agree
yeah,
here.
that's
I agree with you.
Are we still saying Jaden is top 10 though? Just off of the first
I mean,
year,
right now,
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would keep him in there for sure.
I
I mean,
mean,
he's only played
I
2
will-
games this year.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
hurt right now. I'll let the entire.
To be
season
honest,
develop.
I
Season
wouldn't
speak for it, yeah.
I wouldn't move anybody of last year's ranking other than CJ, because CJ has looked godly awful, but everybody else is 3 weeks, right? And nobody other than CJ has looked so dramatically awful from the first game. Now I'm gonna add this wrinkle again, throwing shades to the front office of the Texans. It is your job as a coaching staff, and I'm gonna be talking about the Ravens coaching staff later on. If you saw I think if you go back to last year, CJ didn't start bad, but as the year went by, right, he struggled more and more. He was very inconsistent. You as a coaching staff has to look at it and say, what do we need to do to whatever deficiency? I don't watch C.J. Stroud enough to know his deficiencies to help. I tell you what is not good. Not building the demo line is not good for a guy that is struggling. Anyway, I wish Q was here for this.
Yeah, we need.
I didn't thought Trevor looked that good either. Trevor looked okay,
bro. My point wasn't that Trevor Lawrence was better than.
No, your point is that it's better.
My point is they look the same.
Oh,
they're the same. Like they're in the same predicament. Like it's like a
how
mid-off.
trash is that division?
They were having a mid-off. It was a Spider-Man mid-off.
Yeah,
like
I
you throw
got
an interception, I'll throw an interception. Let's just throw interceptions and
how
may the best
shitty
man
is that
win.
division, man? Look at the Indiana
Colts are
Jones is
about
gonna
to-
run with that division.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. That's
Indiana
crazy.
Jones.
That is crazy. I don't know if that's gonna hold up until the end of the season. So I'll say
No,
that.
we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
No,
That
dude.
Daniel Jones is the best quarterback in the AFC South. I don't know if that's gonna hold up
Let's
all the
slow
way.
down.
That's a little crazy. right now.
I'm still pretty confident in my Jaguars pick.
No.
Yeah, I think the Jags are gonna
Look,
do it, bro.
I
And that's
want
what
the
I said
Jaguars to
too,
be good.
Jared. I was like, I think the Jags are still taking that
Yeah.
division, bro.
I
Yeah,
do too.
and to be fair, I think Q believes in the Jaguars a little bit more than I do. I'm like, ain't gonna make the playoffs. I want them to get at least 9 wins because I don't want the Browns to have a second good pick, right? Like I want them to have.
I don't know if
a
Q
decent
he
pick.
calls them the Jaguars.
Yeah, well, he
I
has
don't
always
Yeah,
called them
anytime
the
anybody,
Jaguars.
yeah, anytime that somebody says Jaguars like it's spelled Jagwires, I'm holding off.
Jaguars. Okay, that being said, Ace.
Yeah.
Vikings, Bengals.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get to it.
I don't know if I remember seeing a more. I don't mean actually. What I would say is in the offseason, I don't think I would have expected the Bengals offense to look this anemic, this bad. I was shocked. I was surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I picked the Vikings. I know Jared picked the. I'm sorry, I picked the Bengals. I know Jared picked the
Jared
Vikings.
picked the Vikings and he was
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And if the Vikings would have won by 3, I would have been shocked, right? But that wasn't what happened. It was
BTA.
It was like a domination from like Brownie. I think Brownie thought he was playing for the Huskies. He was throwing to the purple team. It was like, what is going on? He forgot that he's a Bengal now. He's here throwing to the purple team. Anyway, Ace.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
this is what I'm gonna give Jared even more credit because he went into more of saying it was just that the Bengals were gonna lose to the Vikings. He said the reason. He said that Flores was gonna throw exotic looks at Jake Browning. Jake Browning had 3 interceptions. He couldn't see the Bengals winning this based off of Flores versus Jake Browning. And he was absolutely right in this one. I'm not gonna put it all on Jake Browning, right? But the Bengals just got utterly dominated by a team that was well prepared and ready for the situation. The stuff that Flores was throwing at Zach Taylor, it was a masterclass. He clearly outclassed Zach Taylor in this game. The Bengals, and we've seen this with Zach Taylor, they were just unable to establish any type of run. Everything was predictable. It was run on first down, not get anything. You're going to pass on second down. Then you're going to pass on third down. And the Vikings took full advantage of that. When they knew that the Bengals were running, they set everybody up there to make sure that they didn't get any kind of gain. And then when they knew that they were passing, they were blitzing, they were throwing pressures because they knew that they wouldn't be able to handle it. And everything that Zach Taylor was doing was predictable. So the game starts off, like you said, Jake Browning. Well, first of all, they also did a great job with Carson Wentz scripting that first drive. Now, it did get aided by some penalties, but they were able to go down masterfully, get a score, get the ball back to the Bengals. Jake Browning tries to force it, ends up throwing it. It was a great play by Harrison Smith, I think, that tipped it, turns into an interception, pick 6 the other way. All right, cool. Get a stop. They get the ball back. They go up. I believe it's like 14-0. And then when the Bengals show a sign of life where they get 3 points and it's like 17-3 and the Bengals are getting back into a way where they can get some momentum back before the half because they're supposed to get the ball after the half and they're currently in the red zone of the Vikings. And I'm like, okay, they haven't looked good, but this looks like they're about to finally get started. We're going to make this 17-10. bombed or dump off the Noah Fant, fumble is going the other way. I said, this game is over, bro. This game is absolutely over. You cannot turn the ball over and expect to win. The Bengals, there's no excuse for it. I mean, I sat here and said Jake Browning is a guy that could win them games. The way that he played in that game, they're not going to win any game with Jake Browning if he plays like that. They're not going to win any game if they turn the ball over like that. And that game was over at halftime. Guys quit. It was the biggest, I think, margin in score for the Bengals since like the 1970s. Or it was something crazy. Like they were down 34-3 at halftime, bro. That game was over at halftime. It was over at halftime. And you have to give kudos to Minnesota because they just clearly outclassed them in all three phases: offense, defense, coaching staff, whatever you want to call it. There is absolutely nothing I think that the Bengals could have done. I think even if they would have had Joe Burrow in that game, you're still not going to be able to win that game based off of the scheme that Zach Taylor had, the turnovers that happened in the game. And now when you see that, you look at it and say, how can this team even compete with the Broncos? That was the Vikings without, like, the Vikings are not some, like, juggernaut on offense. They're not this juggernaut team. You got the Detroit Lions coming in a few weeks. Like, are they going to drop 60 on you? Because you just let the Vikings, who aren't really a great team, do you like that? Is that how bad this Bengals team is? When I'm looking at it from that perspective, you got to be on the line figuring out if there's another quarterback that you can bring in, because Jake Browning through 1.5 games is leading the NFL in interceptions. He is leading the NFL in interceptions.
He threw 3 more in this game, right?
He threw 2 more in this.
2 more, okay.
2 pick sixes.
2 more, and then I think the rest were fumbles. I think the other 3 were fumbles. And it was just like, bro, like I don't know what planet Zach Taylor is on right now, because he spent the week bragging about being 2-0, even though we clearly lost Joe Burrow. We came out here and the game plan was atrocious. The offensive line was still bad. I mean, they were able to get to Jake Browning whenever they wanted to. There was a play, and that's why I'm like, you got to look at potential different options at quarterback, because Jake Browning is looking and sees the blitz coming, tells Mike Gesicki he's his hot read. Jamar Chase is going in motion. Doesn't even look at Mike Gesicki when he hikes the ball. Knows the guys are coming from that end. Doesn't look at his high read. That's one of the reasons he threw the interception. It was on that play. So Jake Browning, from what I've seen, this is not looking like Jake Browning from 2023. This is looking more like Jake Browning from this preseason, where we saw him turn the ball over in that preseason game early on. And I think at first we tried to say, okay, when Jake Browning first came in 2023 against the Steelers, he threw a bunch of picks. Then he was able to settle into that next game, and I think that's what we were thinking was going to happen here. No, he's still throwing picks. So the Bengals have to get a new quarterback in the building, and it can't be Mike White. It's got to be somebody like, if I'm going down throwing picks, bro, give me Jameis. If I got to go for the 30-30 experience, at least Jameis Winston is going to be able to push the ball.
There's a better option though. I would call Tampa Bay about Teddy Bridgewater. That's Teddy
Bridgewater. Hey, at this point, bro, Teddy Bridgewater, Russell Wilson. That's how down bad.
How about Captain Kirk?
So the only thing with Kirk Cousins is the money. I don't know if they're willing to eat that money, because the Bengals aren't going to pay him $22 million.
I got you. So the question here is, will Kirk Cousins? I don't know the answer, right? If he wants to extend his career past this year, which again, I don't know the answer, will he be willing to basically say, okay, I'm going to take a pay cut to play with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, so I can look good, and then next year, some team will pay me, right? That will be the bet that he will have to make, right? Because he will say, I have good offensive weapons there for me to look good. I'm talking about him and the Bengals.
Yeah,
I know they cannot pay me because they're already paying Burrow, so they can't come and pay me. I can probably sign for like $5 million in incentive if we make it to the playoff. Give me an extra mil or whatever.
Yeah,
but I feel like for him, right? If he wants to, if he's just looking into this year's my last year, then that doesn't make sense.
Some people are talking about bring back Andy Dalton. That's how down. No. Honestly, you know how much I hate Dalton. You know how much I hate Dalton. I do. Dalton as a backup, I was thinking about it, like Dalton as a backup to Jake Browning, because I was one of the few people, like, I get the Jake Browning from 2023, but like as soon as the Burrow injury happened, I remembered how Jake Browning was playing in the preseason, and I was like, all right, you at least need some insurance. Like if the Jake Browning thing doesn't work out, if it works out, sure, but if it doesn't work out, you need some kind of insurance behind them.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is I'm putting a huge part of this loss on Zach Taylor. Like, bro, Zach Taylor, since he's gotten here from 2019 until now, has never been able to establish the run. The runs are predictable. Joe Mixon was running into, a straight up wall at the line of scrimmage. Chase Brown is running into a wall at the line of scrimmage. We've blamed it on different coaches. We've blamed it on the offensive line. We've blamed it on offensive line coaches. The one constant has been Zach Taylor. He does not know how to establish the run. His scheme is set up for us to pass the ball way too many times. It's super predictable. It exposes quarterbacks to getting hit so many times. That's one of the reasons that Burrow is hurt now. I mean, I don't know how you could go forward losing games, especially like this. Like if you lose to the New York Jets or something like that, 40-10, like you've got it. Like he cannot survive.
Now, would the Bengals fire him
like this?
Would the Bengals fire him even though he's under contract?
I still think that they should. I don't think
I know they should. That's what I was thinking. But I'm saying,
will they? It's hard to say. Like I don't like to get into those kind of things because historically, what the Bengals do, like this was an offseason where they didn't do anything that they've done historically, right? Like, so would they get rid of him? I don't think even if they went to Dan Pitcher that you'd have to pay him that much. I don't think, and I think like if you keep Zach Taylor, it's a situation where, okay, yeah, I don't want to, let's just say hypothetically he's making $6 million or something next year, right? Mm-hmm. I think they're going to hurt more from this fan base not buying tickets and being upset about Zach Taylor in terms of merch and all. They're going to get hit way more in their pockets more by that than having to pay Zach Taylor's contract for the next year.
Do you think the fan base, again, you know the Bengals fan base more than I do.
They hate Zach Taylor.
I understand that, but next year, let's say this year let's say for the sake of this argument, they suck. You get a top 10 pick, right? Whatever that position is. Let's say you get the 8th overall, whatever. You guys can don't fire Zach Taylor. You guys make the pick. You still have Burrow. You still have all the weapons. Now you have a top 10 pick. You think the fan base is gonna say, "Well, Zach Taylor's there. We're not going to the games." I think the fans are gonna be like, "This is our year again."
If the offense is still the same and Joe's getting hit, it doesn't matter. Like if we hadn't seen Joe go down 3 out of 6 seasons, then sure. But like he's literally one of the reasons why Joe Burrow is hurt right now. Like the wanting to throw the ball 70% of the time, only run it 30% of the time, the predictability, like to me, like I get it. Joe Burrow, you got to protect him from himself. You got to have a coach. And Zach, from talking to players on the team, family members of players on the team, Zach is not a guy that is an aggressive coach. He's kind of laid back. He's not like a rah-rah guy. He's not getting in anybody's face. He's very passive aggressive. Like they don't need that. You can't allow Joe Burrow to do what he wants to do. You can't allow this team to carry on the way that it's doing because you're just soft. Like he's just not the right coach for this team. And honestly, like these are things that we have continuously seen from him. And I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because last time when he was in the Jake Browning situation, he actually constructed an offense that worked for him. But throughout that same process, it's always been Zach Taylor is not a play caller. He sucked at being an offensive coordinator at UC. He's literally only been the freaking play caller because he's the head coach. And it's been year after year of like, hey, man, why isn't this guy giving up play calling? Why is this offense so predictable? Why do you have Joe Burrow and all of these players and they have to perform 4D math out there just to get a first down? It should not be that hard. And with Zach Taylor at this juncture, I've seen this guy literally cost the Bengals a Super Bowl. Like when I'm sitting there at the Super Bowl and he comes out and empty in a half where Von Miller and Aaron Donald are killing you, where is your situational awareness to say, maybe I shouldn't go empty after getting sacked 4 times in this half? Maybe I should double team Aaron Donald. Maybe I should double team Myles Garrett. Maybe Joe Mixon is my best running back. Maybe on a 3rd and short, he should be in the game getting the ball to run forward for a first down. Like, these are things that Zach Taylor has done where he's gotten the Bengals to the Super Bowl. He also cost them the Super Bowl. So for me, like, I've seen him cost them games. I've seen him cost seasons. I've seen him cost us a whole bunch of things. I mean, for this standpoint, I said it before the season started. If he got Joe Burrow hurt and he goes on to continue to lose, he's got to be gone. I can't even envision any type of way where he's still here. Because if he's still here, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing year after year and hoping that something's going to change. And so for me, I'm not hoping that anything is going to change with Zach Taylor in the equation. They continue to lose games like this, you got to get rid of him. There's no way that you can keep him outside of that.
Hey, Q, we were just talking about how Trevor Lawrence is better than CJ Stroud. It's good to see you.
You watched that game and came away with that takeaway?
No, I just heard that there was a debate after I left on Friday, and I was pissed I missed it.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look, I'll just say this. They both weren't good on Sunday.
Yeah, neither of them played great.
I do think CJ outplayed Trevor down the stretch, but, I think the Jaguars had a better run game going than whatever the Texans had going in that one. So
by Shaw Tootin.
Well, it's really an ETN.
Yeah, no, he's had a little bit of a resurrection here, but I do want to reply to what Ace said, which, I mean, it's kind of, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but like, we know where they would go if they do fire Zach. They're going to give Joe Brady a blank check and
By
say,
the
hey,
way,
come over from Buffalo. What were you going to say, Sonny?
I was going to say to that comment, I'm not going to lie, I would prefer that. The guy
Joe
that
Brady?
I don't listen.
You would prefer Joe Brady come to the Bengals? No,
Well,
you wouldn't prefer that.
Listen. The guy that I would not want the Bengals to hire. I'm not saying that Joe Brady is going to be bad. I just think the better coach for the Bengals, personal opinion, is Mr. Flores.
Flo would be my second.
And then get a good OC that Flores says to that OC, you do your thing on offense, but Flores is what you're saying. I need an alpha. Flores, and then he can fix the damn defense and be more balanced.
Well, because that's what the defensive coordinator to do more with less. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my point.
How good of an offensive mind do you really have to be to figure it out with Joe Burrow? Honestly, I just think you need to not get in the way. And I think that's something that Zach Taylor has done, is like get in the way of that collaboration.
Yeah.
It feels like they would benefit from.
My point is not that Joe Brady's bad, right?
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. I just think Flores will be a better
I can see that
fit, or more than what they need. That's all I'm saying. Not trying to say that Brady's bad.
Lamar Chase are always going to be your strength as long as they're on your team.
Right.
Exactly.
So having somebody who can focus on your weakness could be the way to go there. It's just so fickle in the NFL. Like, there's so many defensive head coaches that you think about over the years, and like they're not known for their defense. Like, it's like what was his name out there? Tony Dungy, right? In Indiana for the longest, was having these like world-class offenses, but like these defenses were just like, who knows what they be every year to year. So it's a tough spot. I mean, I don't even know if the Bengals really want to fire Zach Taylor. Like, I imagine the fan base wants him gone, but what the fan base wants and what they want to do, I could see could be completely different things, because they could just be looking at this long term. Hey, no Joe Burrow, no real expectations. Best case scenario is, honestly, we stink. We get Caleb Downs. We can improve the defense like that. They just invested in a new DC. So I don't know how eager they are to get rid of Zach, but I can understand, because if watching the Bengals, it feel like it be Zach holding it back. But, I don't know if that's what the Brown family thinks. And ultimately, that's going to be the people who have to say on that.
Zach Taylor's he's like a bologna sandwich, the most bologna of head coaches. Like, if you're starving to death, like you'll munch on that. But if like you're just like sitting in your living room, like, man, I'm hungry. Somebody's like, you want bologna? You're like, no. What the hell's wrong with you?
He's tuna. He's tuna.
Hey, don't disparage tuna like that. I had tuna today.
Tuna's straight. Like, tuna's straight. Like, you'll eat tuna. It's cool. Sometimes you might make tuna, but let's be real. Like, you aren't ever like, you know what? Let's go to this place. I heard they got a really good tuna sandwich.
Hey, look,
it's just like, hey, it's there. It feels it's what mid used to mean before these kids kind of ruined the definition of mid.
I made
But it's like, it's edible gunk. And I think that's kind of what Zach Taylor is as a coach. He's edible.
I can't. I made a tuna and Swiss in the
Tuna
air
melt.
fryer today,
Made
and
a
it
tuna
was
melt.
delicious. Yeah, and it was
No, I didn't say tuna melt. Tuna melt's
delicious.
different.
He's just saying
He's
plain
not a
tuna.
tuna
He's
melt.
just saying
He's
straight
not a
tuna.
tuna.
And cold tuna sandwich on wheat.
Ugh.
with no
Well, like no mayonnaise, no
with
onions or anything in it?
mayonnaise or
I
nothing
mean,
in
you
it.
could put the onions in it if you made it while you made the salad, but it's like it depends on how fancy you want to get with the tuna salad.
He's
But it's just
military
tuna.
diet tuna.
Yeah, it's
He's
tuna and then
military
3
diet.
slices of block cheese. You ain't even get the
Ugh.
big slice for your bread. You just got the 3 slices of the block that you put on there. And it's straight.
right.
It's all right. It'll do after school, and that's kind of what Zach Taylor is. It's like it's not gourmet, but it's whatever.
This is where I disagree. If Zach Taylor gets fired tomorrow, right, or next year, what team is calling Zach Taylor to be the OC?
Nobody.
Or
See?
quarterback's coach?
Nobody's
Might
calling
make
him
him to be an
OC.
OC. Somebody might.
Oh,
Who's
why?
that?
He's been awful as an OC.
No.
He'll give you like senior offensive assistant or something like that.
Yeah,
He go
quarterback
to
coach.
college. He might go to
He
college.
did good as a quarterback coach for.
Yeah, that's what I
Jared
said.
Goff. Somebody
Maybe.
will probably make him a quarterback coach. He's a
Maybe
former
he can.
quarterback.
Well, he's been to a Super Bowl, and like again, the people hiring coaches aren't like always locked in. So somebody might just look at him and be like, well, he's been to a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow developed well under him. Like, but maybe if we're getting maybe the Giants. I think I can see the Giants going
Good
after him.
luck.
They hired Pat Shermer twice. So like, after the Browns fired Pat Shermer, and then they brought in Brian Dable as well. So I think Zach will get a job, maybe not a head job, but like definitely an OC job somewhere, just off the strength of, well, Joe Burrow did throw like 5,040 touchdowns with him, so maybe he's not terrible. Then you get to see like the Ken Dorsey without Josh Allen year, right? Where it's like, oh, it wasn't Ken, it was all Josh Allen, right? But I think you at least get the 1 year to find out about him, He went back to being a position coach after like being a head coach for 7 years.
Yeah.
This is not that much experienced coaches around. You know what I mean?
I'll take an experience. I agree with you. Anime Tree eats
I'll
this.
take him in Baltimore.
For 4
I
years.
will take him as the future Baltimore OC. Let's get it.
No.
Yeah, once
Zach
Todd
Taylor.
Monken, when Todd
Monken's
Monken gets a
safe.
head coach,
Yep.
gets a head
Go
coaching
ahead and
job.
get
Yeah,
that.
he can replace Todd Monken.
Oh yeah.
I think
Oh, yeah.
Monken doesn't get a chance because he's older. I think people don't like him because he's older. I'm thinking
By the way, that is the new move. Use ageism for your gain if you're a team. Hire
Yeah.
old defensive coordinators, old offensive coordinators.
they don't want him because of
They
that.
don't
Because
want 'em. Yeah,
think about what Monken has done in Baltimore since from Giro to Monken. He should be a head coach
no,
somewhere.
the number one move is like the great defensive coordinator that failed already as a head coach.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
getting you a Wade Phillips, getting you a Dick LeBeau, something like that.
Yeah.
Where like
Yeah,
Steve
Let the Kansas City,
Spagnuolo.
Spagnuolo, yeah.
the Browns have Jim Schwartz now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, sure, yeah.
he ain't getting a
I-
job anytime soon. You know
Look
what I mean?
but even Young, look at Flores. And the crazy thing with Flores, I'm
Well,
not
Flores
saying-
is a different situation. He's like,
but look what happened in
doing the league.
Miami. Miami looked like a better team. If Flores leaves, they have a one good year. Oh, everything is fun. Look at us here of offense. And Flores was consistent, even when the owner
calling
was saying,
Tua to make sure that he
Hey.
knows that he sucks. Which, by the way, Brian Flores ahead of his time with that.
Hey,
take.
look, Brian Flores trying to tell you, bro, that money ain't gonna be good long.
Exactly. That's my point.
He was like, I do this for a living. I game plan against guys. If I had to game plan against two, I'd be excited. That's just not
Exactly.
something you want to hear. Like, I feel like you got to take that input seriously.
He wanted
My point,
Herbert
exactly.
in Miami, and Stephen Ross is like, no, I want Tua.
All that is point in favor of Flores. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I think Flo, if and when he gets another head coaching job, he's going to kill it.
That's my point. Anyway, Anime Tree.
Who did he
eats-
go to? What, the Saints? I hope he doesn't.
No,
have to go to
the Saints just signed more, so the Saints are
No,
going to
he's
get him
getting
for a
fired
year.
pretty soon, dog. Did you
think so?
see what happened to them?
I mean, that's my strategy and pick him.
Darnold.
No. What's going to happen is that the Steelers and Mike Tomlin are going to amicably part ways after the season, and my Lord and Savior Brian Flores will come home.
No, you guys bring in Mike McDaniels. He's got the stuff.
Ooh.
I will legitimately stop being a fan.
Well, they're gonna be like,
you'll have to find another new host for
Mike
this show
McDaniel?
because I'll leave.
okay, Anime Tree here says Junkins and Graham having a highlight game against the Super Bowl favorite. Cleveland won the trade.
By
Early
the way,
on,
let me ask you this, Q. I want to say this about Q
Yeah.
too, because I'm gonna give Q a compliment here. Anytime I see any of Q's clips of like his watch-alongs pop up on my TikTok, I say to myself, you know what? I could watch Q's watch-alongs because he's not like it's a good watch-along. He's not over the top. He's not crazy. He just it's a dude watching his team, and I like that. He's not like
It's what I like to do. It's like a dude watching a team. I don't want to be performative at all.
Yeah, that's the word I'm here. You're not performative with like several other watch along people across other sports. It's just super cringe. Qs are actually pretty good.
Yeah. Go ahead, my bad.
Why do the Browns always seem to win one of these games a year where they're playing a team that they are inferior to, especially offensively, and they just pull it off?
Me and Q called it.
Yeah, here's the thing about the Browns, like especially in the last few years. They're not that bad of a team. They're just that bad at quarterback, right? Like, so if you don't have a spectacular game from your quarterback and this defense is on fire, one turnover is all they really need to equalize things for the fact that they don't have a quarterback. And if they can get those turnovers, they can beat anybody. And that's kind of been the case for a long time with this team is like the quarterback play, I would say, from last season, the beginning of last season to today, it's probably the worst extended stretch of quarterback play I've seen from the Cleveland Browns since
before Baker.
Oh yeah, certainly before Baker, but like maybe Deshaun Kaiser.
I was gonna say
we could go Jake Delhomme
Cody
Browns.
Kessler.
I mean Cody Kessler, kind of right. Like it's in that range of bad, but the rest of the team is really solid, especially defensively, where I think they're an all-world defense. So if you don't come in with if you don't have your franchise quarterback make those plays at the end of the game, like Sonny would tell you when they were playing the Ravens, that game looked like it was going to be close until the Browns just turned the ball over too many times and gave up points to the Ravens in the third quarter. And that kind of broke the dam. And then the Ravens scored 41 points basically. And like most of that was in the last quarter of the game.
Right. Yeah, quarter and a half of the game. Yep.
Yeah. So
fucked up my teaser.
So this team is going to be in almost every game they play in for at least the first 2-3 quarters. The question is are they going to have the consistency on offense to be productive? And we'll get into that when we talk about the Packers game. It's just not been there the first 3 weeks of the season. And that's really what they got to figure out.
I'm laughing because somebody posted a Photoshop picture of Russell Wilson in a Bengals uniform, and the caption is "Bengals country, let's purr."
Oh my god! Oh my god!
This is a good segue with that super chat.
By the way, shout out to JP because me and him were talking about that last possession from Russ. And he was like, "This is miserable football." That man just threw 3 chicken chalupas straight up there.
Bro, Russell Wilson is like a baby chasing bubbles right now. There's no logic to anything that he did.
I was like, he is trying to get booed out the building right now. Like, this was so bad from Russ. But now they're putting Jackson Dart in against who? It's somebody good, right?
The Chargers.
All right, buddy. Good luck. Good luck.
I'm surprised with that move. I thought,
how are the rookies doing right now? I don't think any of these rookie quarterbacks are looking too hot.
Cam Ward makes like a couple
the only
throws a
one
game
playing.
where I'm just like, all right, like there's something there. But yeah, I think Shuck got in against the Seahawks, but the Saints are just bad. Yeah. I mean, he's bad too.
Cam Ward, though, isn't that kind of the Cam Ward experience? And like one of the big negatives of Cam Ward is like, every once in a while you'll see a throw where you go, oh my God.
I think also too with him, it's like going to be hard to evaluate just how good he is or can be, considering the offensive line's bad, the receivers are bad, the head coach is bad, the defense isn't very good.
Everything is bad.
Just every facet for the Titans.
That is true. Yeah. That is true. That is fair. I just don't think he's good. But
and he very well may not be. We'll see. The things that watching back the Rams game Like there were things there that I liked. There was a few throws against Denver that he was really let down by his receivers. Again, it's going to be hard to evaluate one way or the other just because of the lack of talent there. But yeah, I don't think there's too many other rookie quarterbacks starting right now. So Dart will be the second because Shuck only got in like the fourth quarter because the Saints were losing by 30.
Brosmer played.
Oh yeah, Max Brosmer. Is that his name? First name's Max.
Yeah, Brosmer. Yeah.
Where'd he go? BYU?
No. He went to Minnesota. Before that, he was at one of those FCS schools. Is it Incarnate Word? No. Cam's from Incarnate Word. I know it. It's on New Hampshire. I think New Hampshire.
Oh wait, before we dug in,
I'm right on that. I'm buying myself a cookie.
Interesting.
Before we dug in too deep, here on the Browns, Jared, let's pay some bills.
All right. Chubby's is ready to help you with their NFL collection, whether you're tailgating, grilling, or riding the highs and lows of the game from your couch. Chubby's has the officially licensed NFL gear to keep you looking like the ultimate fanatic. Bold designs featuring your favorite NFL teams. Chubby's game day gear isn't just comfortable, it's a statement. Rep your team's logos in wildly comfortable polos, wave-making swim trunks, and gym-ready mesh shorts. All the comfort and swagger you need to take on every touchdown dance, chest bump, or dramatic fourth quarter meltdown. If you're not a jersey guy, this is an elite alternative. And if you are, something tells me you'll love their NFL collection because when you're invested in the game, your outfit should be too. For a limited time, use our exclusive code AFCNT for $10 off at chubbysshorts.com/AFCNT.
Chubby's, thank you. Great products. When you're sweating that game, as I was last night, which we're going to be talking about later, keeps you dry. Great product. Go check them out. Go take your $10 off. We appreciate you, Chubby's, for sponsoring today's show. Okay, Browns. Q, me and you picked the Browns. My point when I picked the
Browns, I was too scared.
Oh, I thought you did pick them. Okay,
it could happen, but I wasn't. I didn't have the cojones in respect.
I'm gonna tell you
all
this.
the way,
I not only picked the Browns, I bet the Browns. I bet them money line. I gave the points. That's how. But I put them in a parlay, which I also put the Bengals.
Hope Roquan Smith tackles weren't in that parlay.
No,
I gotta tell you, in terms of like my life, in terms of like gambling, this past Sunday, maybe the best I've ever done. I walked away very happy.
You did? Well, that the Bengals killed my parlay. But anyway, Browns. My whole point with the Browns is the Browns definitely. Again, say it again. That D-line is ferocious. That D-line is crazy. I know there's a viral video out there of the tackle for the Green Bay saying, "Jordan, run." It's just hilarious. That is just hilarious.
By the way, the same tackle who said during the week of practice leading up to the game, I just don't see anybody on our schedule that can beat him.
Like, shut up.
Yeah. The week you play Myles Garrett is crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So dumb, man.
That was stupid.
This defense will keep the Browns in every single game. If the Browns can become a consistent running team, they're gonna win a lot more games than people will expect. Because at that point, all you're asking your quarterback is, don't fuck it up. Q. How was your emotions having the kicker win the game?
Well, for most of the game, I was pretty let down because his offense was just like god awful. It was pitiful.
It was hard to watch.
It was like I'm not usually bench the quarterback guy in like week 3, but I was like, guys, like something gotta shake. This shit is bad. Luckily, Quinshon Judkins late in this game got it going, and he's been pretty good for this team. Yeah. A bright spot on the offense. Him, Harold Fannin have been bright spots on this offense. Look, this defense, there's no way around it, man. We talk about if this team could reach 2023 levels of defense. I think this front seven is almost the defensive line is most certainly better than they were in 2023. I have no problem saying that. I could even argue that the front seven has parity, if not better than the defense in 2023. Look, Mason Graham is a monster on that inside. He got called out by Jim Schwartz a little, saying, hey, he's good in run defense, but I don't know. His pass rush ain't got there yet. And then this week, he was a monster in pass rushing, whichever pass rush win rate percentage you go with in the PFF ESPN debate, right? Because there's like two different ways of tracking it. He was pretty phenomenal in the game there, and just his impact, you can just tell from watching, is high level. Malik Collins has been a surprise to me. Didn't really expect too much, but he's been amazing as well. And then guys like Isaiah McGuire, Alex Wright, right? The other guys that aren't Myles Garrett really did do a lot to dominate this game. I mean, Matt LaFleur told the broadcast and told everybody he has 2 play sheets for this game. One play sheet for when Myles is on the field, one play sheet for when Myles Garrett is not on the field. Never heard of something like that happening. Maybe that's happened in the past, but that's the level to which they were concerned about Myles, and they triple teamed him at times. They definitely doubled him. He still got off, was able to get his. This defense, and I think the core of it's really that front seven. Carson Schlesinger, another guy who I think he's playing at a. I don't want to be too overzealous, right? Because he still is a rookie. He's still going to have some stuff to learn. But, man, he's about as plug-and-play as you can get at the middle linebacker position. And his impact in last week's game was all pro level. Like, he was all over the field, making the big plays that you do notice, right? The small plays that you don't notice there as well. Had the big sack on Jordan Love. But what I thought he did a really good job of consistently was whenever something broke free, he chased it down, forces a 3rd and short multiple times. That's huge, right? When you have a defensive line like the Browns, that's huge because any play, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 can turn into a negative play. And that happened a lot for the Packers. So they were able to just take care of business defensively. This is about as real as a test you can get to start the season for this defense, right? Everybody looked at this schedule and said, we will find out about the defense. They're going to play 3 franchise quarterbacks back to back to back. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Jordan Love. And I think the testament to how good this defense has been is you've seen all 3 of those quarterbacks, and everybody who's watched these games has seen it, hit the boo-boo face, right, during the game where they got the salty face at the offensive line. They're mad at their offensive coordinator. They're trying to figure out what's going on. They're doing hectic things. They're causing all kind of hell. Jim Schwartz is living a dream right now. Offensively, it's a nightmare. Let's be honest about what it is there, right? I think the big problem with Joe Flacco right now is, for whatever reason, he doesn't seem confident in what he's doing anymore. And that's a big problem because that's the whole purpose of Joe Flacco being here, is that he's supposed to be confident in what he's doing. He's supposed to be confident in this offense, right? Because this is Joe Flacco's bread and butter. He's not confident right now. He's hesitating. There were multiple answers in this game where the Browns could have got the ball moving in the middle of the field. He's just hesitating. He's not really sure what he wants to do there. I'm hoping that this week, this win kind of like takes some of the burden off of him and can allow him to just reset and find that confidence again against the Detroit Lions, because it's going to be very hard to win a lot of games like this. But if he can't find that confidence sooner than later with how good this defense is looking, you almost owe it to yourself to see, you like Dylan Gabriel. You thought he could execute really well. I think you got to start considering, like, is it best for the team to put him out there? Now, I'm not really a big fan of intentionally putting somebody out there the week you go to London, right? Like, that's a bad week to prepare somebody in their first NFL game. If you can avoid it, I would like to. So hopefully Joe plays a little bit better so you can play him until the Miami game, where I think it's a really good landing spot for a young quarterback. But and I don't ever advocate a young quarterback starting their first game in Pittsburgh as a Cleveland Brown. That's just never sound like a good idea to me, right? That sounds like a good idea to Jarrett. That's always been a good idea for Jarrett. It's never been a good idea for the Browns. It's always ended up badly for us. So all that being said, we know what this team is. We know what their hope is to be better in the short term is, hey, maybe Quinshawn can just be the bell cow and you can hand the ball off to him 20 times. He can get you 150 yards, and that's enough, right? With David Njoku and Harold Fainin squeezed in between there. And a little bit of Jerry Jeudy as well. So maybe that's their path for now. I think it's really important these first 6 weeks they get 2 wins. They got one of them. Should have got another one against Cincinnati. They didn't get that one. So they're going to have to steal one against, a Vikings team to just put 40 on the Cincinnati Bengals, albeit with Carson Wentz. But maybe they're better with Carson Wentz, right?
Hey, respect Carson Wentz, bud.
Hey, maybe who's the coach out there? Kevin O'Connell?
Yeah.
Maybe Kevin O'Connell's thing is slightly used mid, right? Like maybe that's his thing because he did the same thing with Sam Darnold last year.
That's going to be slightly used mid's going to be the title of my autobiography.
Well, actually heavily used mid. Heavily smoked mid. Yeah. Like maybe that's his thing, right? He can work with these guys who are reclamation projects. So who knows what Minnesota's going to be. But yeah, the Browns being able to beat the Packers, they're a talented team, man. They just don't have the consistency on offense because of the quarterback. But I do think what they found in this game is that they might have a bell cow back, a legit bell cow back in Quinshawn, because what he did at the end of that game was, that reminded me of how Nick Chubb used to bail us out in games, right? Where it's like, nothing's happening. Nick Chubb, 30-yard run. Oh, thank God. So I'm pretty pleased with the team defensively, offensively. There's a lot of work to do there. And DeJuan Jones being out for the year, also not good as well. So,
bring back Jedrick Wills.
I didn't even know he was still a free agent.
Jed has announced that he doesn't want to play until next year. So you do with that information.
No, he's taking his Mike McCarthy year.
Yeah, he's saying I got to get healthy on company time. But yeah, we're gonna see what this team could be. They got to play more complimentary football. Oh, and big shout out to Andre Schmidt, right? Because I wasn't gonna stand there and protest him getting fired after missing that kick. But he stands in there, makes the big kick at the end of the game. And that's tough to do when you've already fucked up, right? So I got to give credit to him, and hopefully this is the start of a long run with Mr. Schmidt. But you know how I am with kickers. I don't love him, I don't cuff him, I don't trust him. So we'll see what you do next week, Andre. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the win. How could you not be happy if you're the Browns? You beat the Packers, man. Like we can nitpick things here and there, but this ain't a win we were supposed to get, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you're happy with any way you get it. Like there's no such thing as an ugly win when you're the team upsetting, right? You can't be App State beating Michigan and you won ugly. The run game wasn't working like they wanted it to. Like who cares, dog? You beat Michigan.
Jared, what are your thoughts on this game?
I'm surprised. I think everybody was. And like I said at the start of the show, I wrote a piece about Jordan Love that everybody, I hope, goes to read on the Sporting News because there's been a lot of dumb talking points about Jordan Love made after one bad game. However, I am going to talk out of both sides of my mouth real quick because there was one play in this game that really pissed me off. 3rd and 1, near midfield. Jordan Love's running to his right. He can just throw it away. He just stares at Carson Schwessinger as he sacks him. Like, brother, what are you doing? Like, come on, man.
He was tired of having to get rid of the ball all day. He was like, I'm doing something with it.
I get it. Jordan Love rules. He's top 10 quarterback. I love him. Just overall, when you run into the best defense in the league right now, and you run into the best defensive player in the league right now, Myles Garrett, who had a great game, Mason Graham, who's had a tremendous start to the year, like shit's going to happen sometimes, even to the best teams. And matchup wise, like the Browns are going to give offenses hell. And if they're able to do that consistently, which so far they have been, then yeah, they're going to win. I came into the year saying they won 3 games a year ago. The year before that, they won 11. It's going to be somewhere in the middle this year. They're not going to be as good as 23. They're not going to be as bad as 24. And defensively right now, it looks like they got that 23 swagger back. So, I'm not gonna, go into either game that the Steelers play against them this year and just chalk it up as a win. I know that the success that they've had against Cleveland and Pittsburgh has been, well noted and well documented. But they're going to be a tough out for everybody just because that defense is that good.
Yes, look, my whole point why I picked the Browns was the Browns front will make a living hell out of Jordan Love. They did. And after that, I said, if the offense can be, if the offense does
This
not
was
turn the
a
ball over.
funny trench science game right here.
It's the
Like,
trenches, and this is what happened in Baltimore game, which we'll talk about it later. But it literally was that. The trenches won this game, especially on the defensive side. I will say this again, best D line in the whole league currently, it is the Browns. I don't even know if there's a second or a close second. Anyway, I think the Browns are a dangerous team. I think if anybody looks at the Brown, LOL, they're 1-2 or whatever, you're crazy. They can hurt your quarterback. That's all I'm gonna say. Just be careful with it when you wish.
they're like the last team you want to play. And if you were a team that needed to win in week 18, they are the draw you don't want, because you're also like, fuck, they can hurt my quarterback that week too. Like, you know, they're gonna be that kind of a team, right? Like, what's a good? I can only think of basketball teams that are like this, but like, you know, a basketball team, like, they're gonna press you all game. They're gonna do all the annoying shit. They can't
like
score.
early 2010s Grizzlies, maybe with Tony Allen and Mike Conley.
Yeah, they're like that, or playing Syracuse basketball. Like, it's like, you can't make a jumper worth a damn. But boy, are you annoying to play against, because you could do all this other stuff, and like, you're just nervous about playing them. That's kind of what the Browns are, right? And I think Green Bay walked into this game, and you could tell they're thinking about Dallas. The amount of illegal procedure penalties that they had, the amount of times they've wasted 4 timeouts in this game. Matt LaFleur, one of the best offensive coaches in football. You got a franchise quarterback in Jordan Love, veteran unit. Well, not veteran unit, but unit's been together for a little while. They had to use 4 timeouts in this game because they couldn't get the play call off, right? That's atrocious. And it wasn't like Browns fans get loud, but this wasn't one of those games. Like, it was like 30% Packer fans in there, right? So they just did that. Like, I think Green Bay did themselves a disservice. Also, they didn't come into this game as locked in as they probably should have. And, you know, they got caught slipping. And look, when the Browns played Baltimore kind of understood this. Like, hey, man, we need to get points, because the longer we keep this close, the more we allow something like that to happen. The Packers kind of just were okay with it, right? Like, they didn't really have any kind of aggression to end this game like Lamar usually does in these kind of situations. And they let this one kind of happen to him, because you let this team hang around, there's enough playmakers to where eventually you give them enough opportunity, they're going to make plays on defense at least. And that's going to start to turn into things that make the offense's life a lot easier. We talked about it. They need to get a turnover to win the game. They need special teams to be positive. Both those things happen, albeit in the last 3 minutes of the game. But that's exactly why the Browns won.
Ace.
Yeah, I think this was a great win for the Browns, especially that defense, right? Being able to bounce back against a really good Packers team. Packers lose 2 offensive linemen in this one. That's like the worst thing to do, is you lose 2 of your starting offensive linemen against a team with Myles Garrett on it. Browns were able to take advantage of that. The pressure that they were able to get on him was crazy for the most part. But the only I think good thing on the offense was the running back, Judkins. Like, for him to be able to get into a rhythm and do his thing, that's going to be big for them. That's what they're going to want to do offensively to protect those young quarterbacks and Joe when he's in there, is to be able to run the ball. They were able to do that. That's a big win for them to get at home and taking advantage of that kind of situation. It works for them. They are going to have to figure out the offense, like Q is saying, and maybe their defense is that good that maybe they can play some of those younger quarterbacks and be able to protect them with that run game. So we'll see, but I think overall it's a good win for them.
Yeah, I mean, again, Browns looking like a dangerous team, not a team that you want to face. Okay, let's transition to the Steelers. Jared, you said
This game was hilarious.
You said, and I quote you, "We ain't gonna win unless the Steelers defense produce turnovers." Well, they hear you. They heard you.
Funny. Did the Steelers produce the turnovers?
No, May was throwing it to them too. You weren't here when I made the joke that
Shit, dude.
this joke. By the way, I have reused this joke throughout the whole week yesterday. I used it like with Russell Wilson throwing it to the North Carolina, the NC State, because it was the red team. Like, where will May was like Chuck Clark drop a ball that was straight to him. I'm like, what is May doing? Like on the end of the half, I understand it got tipped. I don't even know if it doesn't get tipped. I still think it's gonna get picked. Like,
Chuck
what
Clark
was May doing?
Dropped that interception, and Drake May said, "My bad, dog."
Yeah, exactly.
Chuck Clark had 2 opportunities because he had another one thrown to him later, and he dropped that one too. So
yeah,
it was
but
weird.
your Steelers defense, for whatever, like even if it was helped by May, they listened to you.
It wasn't
and
even
they
like
produced
helped
the
by
turnover.
Drake May too much. Like Drake May played largely well. It was helped by Ramondre Stevenson fumbling twice and Antonio
That too.
Gibson fumbling.
How is he not benched after he fumbled? Anyway,
That's a question for Mike Vrabel.
it was bizarre. It was LOL. But then the offense. How many turnovers did they had? Like 5, I think.
Yeah, 5. Steelers had 5 takeaways, 4 fumbles and a pick.
And what happened though? The offense was not there, Jared.
No, that's the thing. Like, so many Steelers fans get angry at me after wins because, like, I'm still pissy and I'm bitching and moaning about it. And it's like, yeah, like, am I happy they won? Of course I'm happy. But at the same time, man, it's hard for me to get uber excited because I've seen this before. I've seen it for like 4 years now where, yeah, they're going to go play a team that right now, like, I said the Patriots are going to be a playoff team coming into this year. But they're still figuring some stuff out. To me, this win feels very similar to the win against Green Bay in 2023, where it's a team with an up-and-coming young quarterback, some young talent on the team, but it's still, year 1 of this, and they're trying to figure it out. So, like, yeah, this style of winning that Mike Tomlin wants to have, where it's defense, offense be damned. Like, it can work against teams that aren't playing their best football. It can work against, the mediocre to not great teams. Good luck trying to win this way when Josh Allen and the Bills come to town. Good luck trying to win this way against Green Bay when they come to town on Sunday night in a couple weeks. Like, it's just a non-sustainable way to win important games. And that's why I'm just so frustrated all the time with this team. It's because nothing's changed. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Doesn't matter what the offensive lineup looks like. Doesn't matter who the offensive quarterback, doesn't matter. Everything stays the fucking same. And eventually,
are you gonna blame the coach?
Of course, I'm gonna blame Mike Tomlin. Because it's Mike Tomlin. Like,
but he doesn't touch the offense.
Yeah, come on now.
A guy's been there for 20 years. The offense and the issues.
People give me that pass for like 10 years. And
it's so annoying, dude. It's very irritating.
Same through like 5 different offensive coordinators.
Exactly. Whenever the same issues, whenever the same problems are prevalent, whether it's Randy Fichtner, whether it's Matt Canada, whether it's Arthur Smith, whether the quarterback throwing the ball is Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, or Aaron Rodgers, like, yeah, that comes back on Mike Tomlin, man. And I'm not even trying to be a troll here. I'm not trying to be that guy who blames Mike Tomlin for everything, but my God, dude, it's so frustrating because I know that the end, like, there's not a light at the end of the tunnel right now. He's going to be there as long as he wants to be. And it's so irritating. And I know I'm talking.
He ain't getting fired, though. He ain't getting fired anytime
I know,
soon.
that's what I'm saying. And I know I'm bitching and moaning after a win, and, Steelers fans watching this are telling me to shut the hell up. And, like, fair enough. Like, legitimately, I get it. I don't like being this guy. I don't like, you think I want to come on this show all the time? Like, time to be a prick about everything. No, I don't. But it's so annoying watching this team every week and being able to tell you exactly how the game's going to go, because 99% of Steelers games go the exact same way, and nearly 100% of their wins go the exact same way, where it's largely low scoring, with obviously week 1 being a big outlier. But it's largely low scoring games where the defense makes some splash plays. When the Steelers had at one point, the Patriots had 3 drives in a row where they turned the ball over. The ensuing 3 drives that the Steelers had the ball, they got a grand total of 1 yard. Like, you're just not going to do it, dude. You got to be better. And they started off hot. First 2 drives of the game, they had 2 touchdowns. One of them was off of the first Ramondre Stevenson fumble. Aaron threw a touchdown to DK. Really nice one-on-one ball. DK went up and got it. And then the first drive that they had the ball.
Oh, your boy got a sack. That's right. Early on, too.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Herbig had 8 pressures in this game.
Well, I'm talking more TJ.
TJ had 2 sacks. Yeah.
No, I was saying early on he got his sack out of the way.
Yeah, so it was good. But I'm going to talk about the things that were good. I promise everybody. Like, I'm going to get my complaints out of the way. But it's just incredibly frustrating when the same issues are always prevalent, and it's very annoying. But here we are. The good Nick Herbig had 8 pressures in this game and a sack. I want to say he had one of the forced fumbles, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, the first one, I think.
He got the one that TJ recovered.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Sure.
Maybe.
But he played great. TJ had 2 sacks and a fumble recovery and a forced fumble. Jabril Peppers had a nice little revenge game moment, recovering one of the fumbles. Brandon Eccles had the game of his life, had the interception in the end zone, and then the tackle on Pop Douglas on 4th down at the end of the game to seal it. So there was a lot of good to like about this game. But there was a lot of bad as well. 3rd down. The Patriots were 6 of 13 on 3rd down, but 4 of them were 3rd and long. And the same issues with the Steelers defense on 3rd down is also something that continues to be an issue, where the middle of the field's free real estate. It's a lot of off coverage, a lot of soft looks where it's easy pitch and catch for quarterbacks and receivers. And the mentality of the Steelers defense is, okay, let them catch it, just don't let them get to the sticks. Well, the Patriots, if they got close to the sticks, went for it on 4th down 5 times and converted 4 of them. So they weren't playing the, we'll just punt on 4th and short. There was a 3rd and 12 early in the game, and the Patriots got 11 and then went for it on 4th down and got it. So it's the most annoying defense in the world, because it's all right, we're going to bend, but we're not going to break. We'll hold them to a field goal, or we'll get a turnover. Again, okay, you can do that against, a Patriots offense that doesn't have a lot of stars and is still in year 1 of a new system that Drake May and Josh McDaniels are working together to get going. When Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur come into town, have fun trying that. When Josh Allen and Buffalo come to town, it's not going to work. So it's just the ceiling is very low. I know the floor gets raised, but it's still the same situation that we've been in for the past how many years talking about the Steelers, where I just don't see the ceiling being all that high. The only reason it would be a little bit higher is because when you get into these clutch moments of the game, Aaron turns into Aaron, and either a beautiful back shoulder touchdown to Calvin Austin as the game winner.
He had a perfect old man game.
Dude, yeah, very much. He had
started out, give you something in the first quarter. Oh, it's about to be crazy. Yeah. And then you didn't see him much for 2 quarters. And then that 4th quarter comes around. He does what he needs to do, and he's off the bed,
Yeah. And look, that's not necessarily his fault either, right? Because the whole point of the Steelers building this defense was, okay, we're going to hold teams to very few points, and the offense won't have to do too much, which I just hate that way of thinking in today's NFL. Because let's say, if a great team, if Green Bay gets 5 takeaways, if the Bills get 5 takeaways, if, one of these upper echelon teams gets 5 takeaways, it's a belt to ass game. This should have been a belt to ass game, but the Patriots still had a chance to tie the game in the final drive, because the Steelers just can't have belt to ass games. And it's frustrating, man. They're going to go to Dublin. I think they're going to lose to Minnesota. And I would love to go into every week like I used to, which was, all right, they got Ben, they got a chance to win. They're going to put up a lot of points. We'll see what else happens. And as I've grown older, I realize how much I took that for granted growing up. Just like, all right, yeah, that this quarterback's really good. This team's really good. You're going to be in every game. It's going to be awesome. Here, man, like, I just want one day the Steelers will have an awesome offense. It'll be after I'm dead, but one day it will come. And when that day comes, I hope Steelers fans really enjoy it and hold on to it as tight as they possibly can. So it's hard for me to even get mad at Arthur Smith, because, like I said, shits look the same when it was Randy Fichtner and Matt Canada. This is a Mike Tomlin problem that won't be solved until there's new leadership. Mike Tomlin, not a bad guy. Seems like a great hang, but the game has passed him by in terms of winning, and it's very annoying. Also, while I'm on this tangent, why the hell did they give Pat Freiermuth $12 million a year? Like, again, very nice guy. That's a good dude. Does a lot in the Pittsburgh community. He's the 3rd best tight end on the roster, and he's making $12 million a year. That's bonkers. He had one catch for 6 yards in this game. Like, come on, bud. You need to do more than that.
Dante Moncrief special.
It's like, he doesn't do anything. Like, he doesn't run block, at least not well. Jonnu Smith's a better receiver than he is. Like, Why is he making the money he's making?
When he catches the ball, the fans get to go move. And
Yeah.
it's worth the money.
No, well, now they have Janu, so they can go Janu. Yeah, does that count? No, sorry. All right.
You can't tell me that felt natural coming
Yeah,
out.
it did. Just go new then. As long as you can make some sort of sound. And it's also, and I'm not trying, it's also like largely white dudes because they went Heath Miller and then to Pat Freiermuth with Jesse James in the middle. Like it's just always, if you're a white tight end in Pittsburgh, yeah. What'd you say, Q?
The only black guy I've ever seen get the ooh is Amari Cooper. The cool.
Yes.
But I feel like that was stolen from a white Cooper.
Probably, maybe. So overall, my thoughts on this are, I know I just went on a little bit of a ranty tangent, so my apologies.
That you can't wait for Pittsburgh to trade for Tua Tagovailoa in the offseason.
No. My hopes are I'm gonna allow myself to hope, not that Tomlin gets fired, but that he just doesn't want to coach anymore after the season. I'm gonna allow myself to hope for that.
There's no way. No way.
I don't think so either, but I'm gonna allow myself to hope for it.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he has anything going on outside.
Exactly. I was gonna say he feels like he breathes for football.
Go watch. He could go watch. I believe his daughter does college gymnastics. He can go watch that. He can do TV. He can do whatever he wants. But
you can tell what coaches are like. They do stuff like Zach Taylor comes off as a guy who has a lot of interest outside of coaching football.
Zach Taylor strikes me as a guy who has a lot of Hobby Lobby rewards points.
Yeah, like he does other shit. John Harbaugh, especially. I'm like, yeah, John Harbaugh, I could see just like retiring from football and never hearing from him again. And he's playing fucking golf, right? Mike Tomlin, that man was born to coach and will coach until the day that he cannot coach anymore.
Like Bill Belichick.
I gotta tell you, Q. Right now, he's not like I wouldn't say. If I had to rank the top 10 coaches, if he's in it, he's at the bottom half of it at this point.
I'm not even talking about his ability to do his job. I'm just saying that.
You just mean like physically, like Joe Pa. Like,
like you ever look at somebody and be like, that guy coaches Pee-wee football. Like if Mike Tomlin got no breaks, he'd still be coaching fucking football. Like if he got no breaks coming out of William and Mary, he'd be some FCS coach somewhere. That dude's born to coach. He's coaching for the rest of his life, man. Like, I don't know. He's going to be Wade Phillips coaching in the UFL just because he needs some shit to do.
And I just hope that it's somewhere else at this point, dude, because again, seems like seems like a genuinely nice guy, good hang. I just cannot stand to keep watching him coach the team I root for because it's so repetitive, so predictable, so annoying.
Tomlin gets fired, Ace, that the Bengals decide. Well, that's a brand we know.
I don't know.
I wouldn't rule it out.
I wouldn't either. I think, I wouldn't rule it out. I know the Commanders were linked to him for a while, but now they actually had their coach. So I don't know. Tomlin, I mean, I would respect Tomlin for sure. Like the only thing about Jared is when you miss on that head coach, my brother, it can be a long.
And look, man, I completely hear you, and it's a fair argument to make. I would rather have them take some swings, and if they miss, they miss. But I would much rather them at least swing the bat than keep it on their shoulder like they've done over the last 5 years, where it's just been the same thing. It's just very repetitive, very annoying. That just
Pittsburgh's front office and organization loves to tout how good they are at finding these kind of things and leaders and all of this shit. All right, test it out. Go find a new fucking.
And historic, but like if you guys do get a new guy, they're gonna keep him for a while, right? Like that's what you guys historically do. Like when you do find the new guy, you got.
I mean, not if he goes, like 5-12 in each of his first 2 years. Probably not.
Yeah, they've never been tested.
That's the thing. Like they haven't ever had their backs against the wall like that.
Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin.
Mike won the Super Bowl years too.
The closest that they've gotten, Bill Cowher had back-to-back years where he had losing seasons, and I think it was late 90s, early 2000s. He had 2 straight losing seasons. And at the time, obviously I wasn't alive, but, going back and, seeing these things, at the time, like that was, if they were ever going to fire Bill, that would have been the time that they would have done it. And they didn't, and obviously that turned out to work out. But, Mike Tomlin, if you want to go somewhere else and keep coaching, sick. Wish you nothing but the best. That's another thing too. Like you see, like Rich Eisen will be on a show. If the Steelers fired Mike Tomlin, he would get hired in 5 minutes. Dude, we don't give a fuck. I hope he does. I hope he gets another job and has success. It's just not going to happen here. It's just I'm going to go insane by the end of the year because I thought that this year would be at least a little bit different. What'd you say?
I said, I know you're going to go insane, dude. They won this week.
Yeah. They were outgained offensively 369 to 203. They had 203 yards of total offense.
Yeah, it's not good.
And then Mike Tomlin came out in his presser and was asked about the offense. Like, I thought we did a lot of good things. You didn't. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they haven't even dropped the one game. That's going to baffle you. Like they haven't even lost like Jake Browning or something.
No, they played the Colts this year. They'll lose to Indy. They've lost the last like 2 or 3 to the Colts. They'll lose to Daniel Jones.
I feel like that Daniel Jones thing ain't going to last until November. So I feel like y'all good.
No, that's the thing. It won't. He'll start sucking and then he'll look great against Pittsburgh.
Okay. Like you guys going to lose at Bears? When does the inevitable turn towards it starts after that Bears game. After Thanksgiving, that's when this season starts to do the turn. You go Bills, Ravens, Dolphins, Lions, at Browns, versus the Ravens.
2 weeks ago, I would have said, I think that they're going to beat Detroit. Now, I'm not so confident in that. That final like month is gonna be like they'll destroy the Dolphins at home. That's fine. I shouldn't say destroy. Like it'll still be a game somehow. They'll win 20-17, but they'll win.
And they might have their shit together by then.
I don't know, dude. It's just
it doesn't feel like it'd be that. But maybe they trade like Tyreek, and that ends up like we got rid of the poison, and Jalen.
Look, man, I'm gonna say this again because. I know a lot of people are going to be like, God damn, this guy's a bummer. I'm sorry. Genuinely. I know I should be more positive at times. Right now, it's very annoying, dude. All right,
can I talk about how the Patriots are setting up to be a hilarious team this year?
Ramondre Stevenson, I don't know what the hell's going on there, but
what is going on with this running back room, man, in New England? First of all, Drake May was the leading rusher by far, most efficient rusher in that game. Look, Antonio Gibson and Ramondre Stevenson fumbled the ball, 3 times combined?
Yes, and then Drake was strip sacked.
Yeah. How bad is Travion looking to where they're like,
I don't know. He had a few carries in this game, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to go back and pull up the box score, but I think he had a couple touches.
28 yards. He only averaged 2.5 against the Steelers' run defense.
Not
good. But I mean, they got Deron Harmon back this week, so maybe that factored into it, right?
You know what? I'm glad you said that. Good shout to Derek Harmon, who had an awesome NFL debut. He only played 34 snaps, but he had a sack. He had 2 run stops. Their run defense looked a lot better. I know that they still gave up over 100 yards, but considering what it looked like, they gave up roughly 4 yards a carry. Still not great, but it looked a lot better. And Derek Harmon was a big reason for that. I thought Cole Holcomb actually played pretty well as well. He had a pair of run stops. They actually had him in a starting role over Peyton Wilson because Peyton Wilson wasn't playing well. Cole Holcomb took a little bit of a bigger role. He looked really good.
Cheddar Bob. Oh, no, he's not on the Steelers anymore.
Yeah, Cheddar Bob. Yeah, no, he got an interception because Rodgers threw the pass like it was intended for him. Like, Jesus Lord.
He did a solid for his guy.
I thought that they were going to lose at that point. Like, Aaron throws a duck to Robert Spillane. I'm like, fuck. And this isn't going to end well. But don't worry. The Patriots gave it right back. So it's okay.
I continue to not know what the fuck to do with Drake May. I don't know. I don't know.
I've certainly bought in on Drake May. I think he's going to be good.
I believe the people who are really in on Drake May. It's just, man, every time I watch him, I just don't be seeing the most flattering images of him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, this was a very unflattering image of Drake May. Like, the red zone interception I thought was really questionable. The fumble, was that also in the red zone as well?
I don't think the fumble, I don't think it was in the red zone. That was, it was like in neutral, like near midfield. So. Yeah. But in the game, went 28 of 37, 268, 2 touchdowns, a pick, had a passer rating of 102.1, was sacked 5 times. I mean, the Steelers pass rush was getting there, which was good to see the defense be able to do that. But there's still things that the defense needs to clean up, especially on 3rd down. got to figure out how to keep teams under 100 yards rushing, which they haven't been able to do so far, which isn't good. So, but there were steps taken defensively. So, in an effort to try to be a little bit more positive after that little rant, there were positive things to take away from it in terms of overall performance, individual performances. I already talked about Watt and Herbig, Cole Holcomb, Derek Harmon, Brandon Echols at the game of his life.
Is Caleb Johnson hurt?
No, he's a healthy scratch.
Oh, was that punishment from last week?
I think so. Which again, he should have known the rules. Why the hell did you have him out there? Like, that's more of a coaching issue than it's a Caleb Johnson issue. So I think that was stupid.
And then, like, honest to God, it didn't look like anybody on that sideline knew he touched that ball.
Yeah, it's not the only person who like seemed to have any urgency on that play to get it was Jabril Peppers. So that just felt like a whole the guy who just got there. So that felt like more of a coaching issue than a Caleb Johnson issue.
Yeah.
But there was another like the first touchdown.
That's a way to build resentment, right?
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, that's not going to help him whatsoever. That's like it's something that's your fault that you're punishing him for. Like, that's just not good. They went back to their human binky Kenneth Gainwell though, because Jalen Warren on the first drive, they gave him 6 straight carries after DK Metcalf picked up like 20 yards on a screen. And then they get inside the 5, they pull Warren and give Kenneth Gainwell the touchdown. I was like, all right, what the fuck, man? Like, what are we doing?
Kevin used to do the same thing with Nick Chubb. People, fantasy football, used to be fucking pissed at him all the time. Yeah, I just don't know what to make of Drake at this time. The Patriots, though, they're a hilarious team. I do know what to make of them. That team is hilarious, and it is even funnier. And look, I don't say this with joy. I like Mike Vrabel, but like I imagine that man was losing his mind watching this team.
Oh, I bet.
Turn the ball over as much as they did in this one. Like, honestly, they should have won the game 28-21 at the very least. They probably shouldn't even have gave up the 21 points there. But, you know, this is a young team doing very young team things. I don't know what this team the Travion Henderson thing is also kind of like alarming here, because that is a 2nd-round pick running back, right? Like Caleb Johnson, healthy scratch, whatever, mistake there. He was, what, a 3rd-round pick, 4th-round pick?
3rd-round pick.
Yeah, 3rd-round pick. I mean, Travion was an early 2nd-round pick here, and like you're getting nothing out of him right now. So like they got to figure out what's going on with that. You know, he seemed like a surefire thing coming out the draft there. Steelers defense, I thought, woke up a little bit in this one. They got some turnovers, like Jared said, and that's all well and good. TJ started to look a little bit more like TJ Watt.
Yeah, so that was the biggest thing, was the pass rush came alive. And look, I don't care what Alex Highsmith, like when he gets back, he can't start over Nick Herbig anymore. I've said it for the last year that Herbig's the better player. He makes more splash plays. He's a spark plug off the edge. He's gotten better as a run defender as well. That was the big thing that people always said about Highsmith, is always a better run defender than Herbig. Herbig is a fine run defender, and what you get in the run game from Highsmith doesn't come close to outweighing what Herbig gives you as a pass rusher. So I don't care when he comes back, but he can't start over Nick Herbig because he's just not as good.
You ain't got to go home, but you can't start.
Yeah, bro. Like you can show up, but just know that you're not going to be running out of the tunnel as a starter. Like, you can't do it. He's a fine number 3. I think he's going to get traded in the offseason. They don't owe him a lot of money next year. I assume they're going to extend Nick Herbig. It would be dumb to let him walk. So my guess is they're going to move on from Highsmith, get some sort of, package him to move up in the draft and get a quarterback wherever that may be. But I've been calling that shot since like March, and I'm going to keep sticking with it that's going to happen. So wanted to share another funny stat with you guys. Aaron Rodgers is on pace for 40 touchdown passes, so that's pretty cool.
40?
He's got 7 through 3 games. That averages out to about 39.6. So okay. if he keeps up this pace, he's not gonna have a lot of yards. I wonder what
2,000 yards.
Hold on, let's see. Let's actually do this math real quick. He's on pace for about a little bit over 3,300 yards and 40 touchdowns.
17 interceptions.
He's got 3. So 17. I'd sign up for it. 40 touchdowns.
That'd at least be a fun, all right, Aaron's done year. He threw
40 touchdowns, but he also threw 17 picks.
You can always say he threw 40 on its way out. And it's like, nobody's really going to care how many interceptions you throw when you're Aaron Rodgers and you're 44. or whatever the fuck he is. 40.
I'm happy that he's there, man. I've been happy since he signed. He's played well in the first 3 weeks, all things considered.
He's better than Russ.
He's certainly.
You're on mute,
Sonny,
son.
you're mute.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say by a mile. Okay, we have a couple super chats here real quick. Watch the Browns beat the Lions next week.
I would be utterly shocked.
You know what would surprise me?
If they do it in back-to-back weeks, that would be bonkers.
Well, we'll be talking about that game.
Bro, they've been
Friday.
going Jordan Love, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. Seeing Jared
You know what? That's a good point.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Lack of weapon, like
The one
they could
thing-
stop the run game.
The
Yeah,
only thing
make
is the
Duff
O
beat
line.
him.
The O line is
Yeah,
better.
here's the thing though. That's the best offensive line we've played.
Yeah, exactly. That would be the big thing. Get
Tanae
a
Sewell is not a
Bernard.
joke.
Jared is preaching. Pay attention.
Brother, I wish I wasn't preaching. I wish I didn't have to hold church after every fucking game. I wish I could.
Holding a service here.
Yeah. I did it
Boo-
after the first game. You know, I said, all right, there's a lot of shit that needs cleaned up, but at least I'm talking about a game where the offense went off, and I was very happy about that.
Jared,
That's-
you're
right.
right. The rapture is coming and Mike Tomlin is not going.
what is that about, by the way?
That was supposed to be today, right?
I don't understand that at all.
I don't
I don't
know.
know. I don't know.
I feel like it's one of those old school internet things. Like you remember when they told black people who was getting superpowers?
Oh God, no! What?
No, what?
You don't remember that?
I mean, I might be in Puerto Rico back then. I don't know. When was this?
No, this was recent. This was
Oh,
yeah.
recent.
It was like what 2021, right?
Holy shit,
It
that
was
is
like during the
recent.
pandemic. Yeah, it was like, all right, black people, we getting superpowers because of this constellation or whatever it was.
Okay.
Sure.
Buddha, the Brave, I don't know. Finally, Fire Sack, this loss was the most Marvin Lewis thing I ever seen. I had my fill of the Taylor experience. Hashtag
a
done.
lot of Bob Brokowski in Zach Taylor's play calling there. A lot of Bob Brokowski.
And Dragon the Amanda says,
Now,
shooting.
does this get better if you find out that like the Vikings go on a Sam Darnold run with Carson Wentz?
No.
No, because they got spanked.
It was 34-3 at halftime.
No, I was watching this game and then I looked at the score and I was like, damn, this ass whooping.
Yeah.
And then I saw 2 minutes left in the second. I was like, yo,
This is a game, but in 2 quarters.
oh my God. It was so,
Yeah,
like it was so many fumbles for the Bengals. Like,
Dragon the Amanda says, shouldn't the Bengals draft a QB at this point? Ooh.
I think if you see Jake Browning continue to be bad, you do probably need to take a mid-round quarterback that in the event Burrow is hurt or something like that, that you have at least somebody there. I don't think you're taking a first-round quarterback. I don't think you're taking a second-round quarterback, but probably somebody in third, fourth round.
just give us T. Higgins and we'll give you Shador.
Was it going to be like a Jimmy Garoppolo New England situation?
Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't think they'll go as, because I think he was a second round, but kind of similar to that. Probably something like that.
Okay. I think that's it for today, right?
Nah.
We don't talk anymore.
Bring that ass here, Sonny.
Ah,
Yeah. Hey, can we welcome back somebody to the show? Can we welcome back
I thought
somebody
you
to the
said I
show?
thought you said you were done with the rose stance until December.
I thought it was going to take until December. Until Roll Cone. Welcome back, Roll Cone Smith. Yes, everybody. Woo, my man was garbage on Small Monday.
Okay,
I wasn't
let me
expecting this, Sonny. Hold on.
go ahead.
I turned on this game to watch it. I'm thinking to myself, it's going to be a long road until I get to make these Roquan Smith jokes. By the third quarter, I was like, oh my God. Oh, he loves me. Never mind. He loves the jokes. He put all his effort into that Browns game, and boy, he had nothing left for the Detroit Lions. I mean, like, some of this stuff wasn't really as much on Roquan, right? Like, I don't want to put the whole game on Roquan, but whatever they wanted in that run game, dog. Every time it was like Roquan, get him out of here. That Penei Sewell pull block they did on Roquan, that was nice.
That was nasty.
Yeah, and then Roquan, no answer.
Look, I'm gonna keep. There's a trend today's show, minus Q, of hating on the coach. They signed Cunningham out of our practice squad, and the coach from the Lions was talking about how Cunningham was torching their defense at the beginning of the week, and by the end of the week, they figure out how to kind of like slow it down, right? This game was score-wise, it looks closer to what it's been. To be honest, if my guy Henry doesn't fumble, who knows what happened, right? But
What's going on with that? That's 3 games in a row.
that's
You
3, yeah.
fumble.
But we can talk about that soon. But this team, it felt like they did not show up. That's the reality. Offensively, the numbers on Lamar looks good. So, but what I will say with Lamar in this game was there were 7 sacks, right? And people are gonna talk about the O-line. And y'all know I'm very big on talking about the O-line, especially one individual. I actually don't think it's the O-line's fault this week. I would say more than half of these sacks were on blitzes. Lamar sees the blitz coming, and he's like, doesn't matter, I'm going to hold this ball. And he made the first guy miss, right? Because Lamar can do that. And instead of saying, well, what's a blitz? If I'm going to miss one guy, there's like 6 more here. Let me just go. Nah. So I don't know. Other
He
than
seemed like he was hesitating a lot.
yes.
Like
So what?
He was, not hesitating. My bad, that's the wrong word for it.
That
He
is the
was
word that I would use.
indecisive, right?
That is the word that I was using.
Yeah,
Because
indecisive.
in the Browns game, especially when they start building the lead, you want to understand, like, okay, let me not run, right? But in this game, if you look up this offense, how they play against the Bills, read option. We went back to read option. Receivers were open, making the D-line make the decision, right? The edges, and then Lamar reading the end, even giving or keeping. We're not doing none of that shit now. I don't know why we were like straight here running him. We're like, why? Why are we not doing the read option? A read option is one of the best weapons this Ravens offenses have, right? So that is a problem. Then on defense, so that's because the offense wasn't like it was completely trash. Yes, we talk about Henry. Great play by the Michigan kid,
Aiden Hutchinson.
Hutchinson from the back, right? Punching, great hustle play. Henry needs to figure it out, right? Like 3 games, 3 fumbles. And 2 of those, the Cleveland one didn't cost you anything. But the other 2, the Bills game, you were winning by 15 or whatever it was, right? And he fumbles in the 30. This game, he fumbles in the 30, right? So now it's a short field. You're losing by 4, driving, and you fumble. But let's talk about this defense. When they allow that 98-yard drive, I was like, we're cooked. What are we talking about? Might be game playing, right? But no, it's not playing. But no.
That's the heart of that front seven.
The biggest problem that I had was the O-line. So why I blame the coaching here is you are going with a light D lineman, right? 3-4. Backers are almost feels like they're playing a wide 9 in some place, right? And now they're running through the A gap, double teaming the nose tackle. A guard getting to Roquan. Like Roquan had a bad game, but the O-line was without a problem, without nobody trying to even stop and getting to Roquan Smith. Opening the Grand Canyon. It looked like Mosa was sticking the stick there and opening the knot, like everything. Like, oh my God. Crease, like it was just nobody touching this dude. And I'm I'm here frustrated because I'm like, look, make God beat you. Load that front. Put 4 or 5. Put 5 because it go back to any big runs. The O-line, because they were so light in the front, the O-line was double teaming the the nose tackle and the end, and still have enough people just to go to the second level with Roquan. Buchanan, he was nowhere to be found. Like Roquan was getting a lineman to him, right? So you would think, where's the other linebacker? I don't even know. I'm like looking in here. It's like, where's the other linebacker? Where is he? Because if Roquan's getting a lineman to him and the other two are double team, where's the other middle linebacker? Nowhere to be found. Zach Orr was completely outcoached. So the reason why I was bringing what Campbell did, the Lions look like they're prepared for the Ravens. The Ravens, I don't know if they were thinking about Kansas City. I have no idea. They look like they were not prepared for this team. Like they were not. You know how the Ravens, they talk about the AFC North in general, how, we like to be the bullies. We like to just punch hard. Nah, the Lions play the type of game that the Ravens usually play, right? Run, make you punish you in the run game, make you almost want to quit, right? And then hit you with some offensive plays. The defense of the Ravens, look, they did a good job on first and second down, and then on third down, it's like nothing. And then fourth down, Marlowe, he had a bad game. As soon as the first touchdown on Marlowe happened, as the balls were snapped, I see Marlowe getting there a little late and seeing St. Brown doing the double move. And then you cannot see, but I'm like, he's getting burnt. And then he didn't get completely burned, but it was an easy touchdown. And then on the fourth down, that sealed the game. If you are Marlon Humphrey, you have man-to-man. You cannot get caught looking out because of any team, Campbell doesn't play vanilla, right? So he got caught looking in the back. He got burned. Easy completion. First down. Game's over. And on the offensive side, Henry, we need to figure this out. He had a great game against Buffalo and then nowhere to be found. Again, I think the read option, I don't know why they stopped doing it. I have no idea. Literally no idea. You look, maybe they run it like 3 or 5 times. I don't know in this game. And against the Browns, I don't remember them running it at all.
Are they running against like edges, like premier edges? Is that what it is?
No, because that's usually when they did it the most. Because they put the edge, and as soon as the edge either collided or went with Henry, Lamar kept it. Lamar seems more hesitant to run, which I don't have a problem with it. But in those read options,
I don't want to say this like, oh my God, I think something like he's cooked or anything like that. But he also does not seem like the zero to, how do I put this? He used to be able to turn a switch from like
on the speed, on the agility
around to, I'm gonna get out of a sack and then I'm gonna run. There's space there.
Yeah,
a lot quicker than he's doing now, or a little quicker than he's doing now.
No, I agree with you completely. Definitely more quicker. But if you look back, I think that
Aladi Mohammed got on him were like right there, where he's like doing the Lamar thing, where he's about to cross field and then just like make a big play happen, and then he just gets tripped up here. I don't know if that's maybe somebody's looking for more, or if he's a little bit.
I actually think you're right in completely everything you're saying. But I think the reason is he used to escape, which I think he needs to do more. He's escaping. The blitz is coming. He escaped. But now he's still looking to make the play downfield, right? So he has to almost like pause a little bit to see. And he's trying to go through all progression, trying to find everybody. Well, no, just go. Like, I think if he really, they blitzed me, I escaped, let me just go, he will still have some of that. But as he's escaping, he's still, which it's not that I get why, but he's looking for his guy. So that makes him go a tiny bit slower. And I think that's when defensive are getting. Look, I think they got a coach.
How do you think coaches are gonna like teach that going down the line? Because like there is something to it where it's like, how many progressions do I really want you to get through if you have the ability to just run? Like, how many are we just gonna forgive at a certain point?
So my opinion is, this is what I tweeted during the game, especially when a pressure situation happened, right? Like if you have a clean pocket and you just want to avoid there, I have no problem. But especially when they're blitzing you, if you escape from the first one, in my opinion, you're allowed to look at one guy. Whoever is in your path after you're running, if that guy is open, yes. If not, you keep going. Like, no, let me check with the rest. No. You escape on the left. If there's a receiver there, you look at him. If he's not open, you keep going. Like, there's no, oh, let me check the other ones, and because Lamar will check the other ones and try to cross field to throw, right?
Well, sometimes it works too. It's like
Sometimes I
yeah,
get
it's like how much do you? Because like I think what happens in the playoffs with him too is like he'll do that in the playoffs, and it's like, hey man, just take the layup, right? Just get the first down here, reset the stakes, or just get the 10 yards you can get scrambling instead of trying to like get the most out of all this play possible. But then you didn't like Josh Allen does it, and then you're like, well, now you got to do it too, right? Like that's got to be one of the more difficult things to try to manage. Is like, hey, when do you want your guy who can go to get the fuck out of there, right? Like the GTFO, and just go versus like, he can make a play, if he holds the ball. Like I guess that's what I'm wondering is what they're going to figure out there, because it seems like for more the quarterback that this has the most issues with in the playoffs, especially, it seems to be Lamar, where he's like more indecisive.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But something needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Jarrett.
Yeah, sorry, I had to do a quick write up there. Watching this, I mean, obviously I was delighted, but the biggest thing that I took away, 7 sacks for Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7, where they kept talking about like during the broadcast where it's like, oh, the highest passer rating of all time for Lamar Jackson. And it felt a lot like he's aware of that and is maybe trying to protect that a little bit, because all 7 of those PFF credited were his fault because he held the ball too long.
Definitely.
And I'm not even trying to lean into the bit where I'm like, oh yeah, Lamar Jackson, hardy, har. But like, look, man, like 7 sacks.
Have a tendency of trying to prove points on the football field.
There does seem to be a lot of that, not just from him, but from
debates. Yeah.
That's the thing. It's not even just from him, but from Baltimore. It goes back to the AFC title game from 2023, where they just didn't run the ball. It felt like they were trying to make a point, like, actually, we don't need to run the ball. Lamar can just outduel Mahomes, and it felt like that was the mentality they went into the game with. And I do think that, like, obviously, yeah, the mobility with Lamar is tremendous, and you always feel like you're in the game and you can win every play with him because of his mobility. But you gotta, admit when something's at its end, brother, and just chuck the ball away, play for another down rather than losing 6-7 yards every time that the Lions are getting close to you, because you're trying to do too much. So that was one of my biggest takeaways is 7 sacks, but it wasn't the offensive line to blame. It was Lamar trying to do a little bit too much. And it's that was certainly one of the bigger things I took away. Offensively for Detroit, man, like I thought they were going to take a step back without Ben Johnson. Both offensively and defensively, they look great. I think Kelvin Shepard's done a really good job at defensive coordinator for them. And like, Gibbs was great. Montgomery was great. Amon-Ra had an insane mic'd up moment after scoring a touchdown, by the way. Like doing that on saying that on a Disney owned channel. What
did you say?
You can't say it. He can't say it.
At one point he did the Malik.
Just look it up. Q.
You're talking about when he said the lady name, whatever it was?
No. After he scored a touchdown.
Just check it out on Twitter, Q.
I need to look for this.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't say it, but
oh yeah, no. You talk about Montgomery. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he came. Straight out.
So it was
a clip.
Yeah.
You
can hear him clearly. I remember now.
Don't play it,
scored a touchdown
where we can hear it.
Yeah. Don't play it.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't play it on the. But yeah, you'll be able to see it.
I had to pop the AirPod in for that one, my brother.
But
is that you guys talking about what he said
after the touchdown
when he's throwing the ball on the ground?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's every day at the rec.
For sure. Yeah,
but it came through the TV.
That's fair. It's just we don't get to hear those too many times on a live broadcast.
Oh yeah.
So offensively, man, they're a juggernaut. Offensive line looks great. Running back duo is the best in football. Jameson Williams started this game with 2 big catches on the first drive. They came back to Amon-Ra more so in the second half, who had kind of a quiet first half. Sam Laporta there as well. He, didn't have his name called too much, but like just the personnel that they have all over the place, it's hard to stop. So I thought they were going to take somewhat of a step back. I don't think they're going to win 15 games again, but Detroit they're an easy team to root for, and they're still a wagon. For the Ravens, now you're staring down the barrel of 1-3 because you got to go to Arrowhead, a place that Lamar's never won. That's not going to be easy, regardless of what people are saying about the Chiefs
game.
I would assume so, right? I assume that's a Romo and Nance game.
I don't know. It's Pat Mahomes, Jim. I don't know. This is tough. This is tough, Jim.
And look, the last thing that the Ravens need is to be the Chiefs get right game. That would stink if like the defense just makes them look like the old Chiefs. Like there's got to be something done there. So we'll see. But that's the fact that that's going to be the 1-3 bowl. That's going to be, I think that makes it even more important. It's one thing if they were both like 3-0 and be like, all right, yeah, this doesn't really mean anything. They'll see each other again in January. Being 1-3, like either way, I think both of them will still make the playoffs. But like seeding wise, one of them's going to get hurt from this.
Yeah. So the Ravens started 1-2 last year.
The Joe Burrow-less Bengals.
Yeah, last year they started 1-2 as well. So definitely, but they won the fourth game. Ace, I know you're waiting there.
Woo, Baltimore. What's going on? It's your boy Ace Boogie, your biggest hater. I know I tried to tell you. I tried to warn you about the defense. I tried to tell you about Zach Orr. I told you Zach Orr was a terrorist. I told you that the defense wasn't looking right over there. It looked like there were some issues. All the talent, Marlon Hubbard. Did you see the post game? Did you see him after the game? He was just so confused. Lamar's not the problem. I told y'all that. I told you that you're gonna drop 30. I told you you're gonna drop 40. Y'all are gonna do y'all thing. The issue for me with this Ravens team has been the defense. The defense didn't look up to par. The defense didn't handle its end of the bargain. The defense is a huge reason outside of week 2 that the Ravens are now looking at 1-3. Lamar's not the problem. Derrick Henry does need to hold on to the ball, but that's not the issue. The issue is the defense, and that's what I was trying to tell you guys week 1. There is no context to your defense getting cooked. There is no context to giving up 200 yards on the ground. That hurt you in this game. I've just been trying to tell you guys that. I don't think you're a defensive team anymore, and that's fine. That's been your identity, but I don't think that that's what the recipe is for the Ravens. Right now, they need to have real conversations about, is Zach Orr the guy? With this team that they have on defense, there is no way that they should be playing this bad. With the names that they have on paper, when you look at what they have at the linebacker position, when you look at what they have at D-line, when you look at what they have in the secondary, there is no weakness on paper. You're looking at this team, you've got all pros. Now you are missing Justin Matabuke, so that is a huge miss. But this team is not playing to the level that they should be based off of the names on this defense. And I don't know if it's a Zach Orr thing. I don't know what it is, but I've never seen the Ravens give up 200 yards on the ground. If I'm not mistaken, the Ravens were a team that was historically known for allowing not that many 100-yard rushers. That's what they were known for.
Yep.
Now this is a team now that whenever they go against a good team with a good offense, they're going to have to shoot it out with them. And honestly, it's very similar to ironically, what the Bengals were last year. Defense couldn't stop anybody. Offense has to outscore them. And you guys have the weapons to do it. Lamar's going to be able to keep you guys in the game, but they have to figure out what is going on with the defense. I think that the defense is really the issue. The offensive line, I agree with Sonny. Some of those were on Lamar. So I went and looked at PFF. PFF is attributing 3 of those sacks of the 7 to the offensive line. So that means that they're assuming that 4 of them are on Lamar Jackson. Even with that, Lamar Jackson still played a good game last night. I'm not going to sit here and say Lamar was the reason you guys lost. To me, it was the defense, allowing 17 points in the fourth quarter. And this was a good Lions team. And that's the reason why I was like, okay, I get that they had a bounce back performance against Cleveland, but this is the Lions, dog. This is one of the best loaded teams on offense, and I was like, this is gonna be a true test for this Ravens defense. And man, Amon-Ra cooked Marlon a couple of
Humphrey.
times
Yep.
in that game. You know, it seems like he's trying to me, Marlon is the only one being real about the defense, because week 1, he was like, you know, we're trying to get on the same page. We're trying to figure this out. This week, he's like, I just don't think that we're that good. I think he's one of the people being real about it. But there's no way that this defense can be this bad with this much talent in the room, which to me screams that it has to be a Zach Orr issue. It has to be a Zach Orr. There's no way you got Malachi Starks, you got Kyle Hamilton, you have all of these guys over there, and you're the worst defense in the league.
Yes.
Statistically, right now, you're 32nd in scoring. You've allowed 97 points. You're allowing the most yards per game as a defense. And you're the Baltimore Ravens. Right now, you're 32nd in the league. That is crazy to me, bro. That is crazy to me. This is the thing, though.
That was exciting.
It is a very, if this Chiefs team, offensively, they have not been what they've been in the past. If they allow 30 or 40 to this Chiefs team, it's time to hit the panic button. It's time to hit the, hey, we need to move on from Zach Orr.
If that happens, Zach Orr needs to stay in Kansas City.
Zach Orr needs to go, because it doesn't make sense. I don't think the Ravens are done. I think they'll be fine, right? But I think that defense is a real issue, and they may have to change their philosophy on how they win games. Like, they may not be able to depend on this defense to come through when they need it, which is really historically been what we've expected from Baltimore. We've seen the Ray Lewises, we've seen the Ed Reeds, we've seen all of these defenses that are just able to shut people down. They no longer have that. And that's the biggest shock of this season to me, is that the Ravens defense is not a top unit in the NFL, and statistically, as it stands right now, is the worst defense in the NFL. That is crazy.
Did you see that this morning Marlon Humphrey put out a video talking to the camera? He's got like a
they're burning him for that.
Oh, they should be. Like, Batman couldn't have beaten me into making that video.
So this is Q stance, right? Q says players need to, both him and Calvin Noy have a little podcast that they're trying to. It's new this year.
They should stop doing that. I'm against any active player doing a podcast. Knock that shit off. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
they're both starting it, so they have to for the content, you know. But he's getting burned.
Are you gonna be able to have after a loss like
that's
that?
what I'm saying. It's the Tuesday after a Monday night loss, and you're sitting worrying about your podcast. Fuck off.
I don't disagree.
Hey, so Ace, you brought up a great point, that the illusion of the Ravens having this great defense is gone away. And I just want to ask a question. Under whose watch? Whose watch? Whose watch?
Zach Orr?
No. That's not the leader of the defense, right? The heart of the defense, right? The spiritual success, right? You know, the man in the middle, right? Who that supposed to be? Where he at? I don't know. But guess what, y'all?
Flex on him, Quincy. Let that motherfucker know it ain't sweet down there.
Yeah, roll quiet, we back. Roll quiet, we back.
Flex on him, Quincy. Let that motherfucker know it ain't sweet down there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty good. I
just want to say, great game from Jahmyr Gibbs. Great game. I think was that a career game from David Montgomery?
It was certainly up. I mean, he had a long ass run in that game.
Yeah.
What do you have, like 140, 100?
Let's get it up real quick.
He had more than 100. He had like a 140, 150.
Yeah, he had a big day.
140,
207 as a team.
Woo!
Yeah, and most of it was Montgomery, not Gibbs.
Let's see. David Montgomery, 12 for 151 and 2 touchdowns.
6 yards per carry.
Under whose watch?
Zach Orr.
Who's defense?
Zach Orr.
Who's in the middle?
Zach Orr.
Who's the run stopper? Who's the tackler in chief? The big stuffer. Ray Lewis was in his ear last week.
He needs to
was
be here
terrible.
again.
Yo, Quincy, I told you. Where's it all at? Where's it all at? Where was Roquan Smith when it mattered at all? Did anybody see him? I didn't see him. Did you? Hey, Jared, did you see Roquan Smith when this game mattered?
Did not.
Ace, did you see Roquan Smith?
I saw him get pancaked.
Sonny, where have you last seen Roquan Smith?
In Cleveland, against Cleveland.
Damn. So look, if you or a loved one has seen Roquan Smith, please call this number at the bottom of the screen so we can relocate him back with the team because the brother's gonna miss him. All that credit when everything going right for Roquan, but boy, that energy don't seem to come back around him when it looked like this. Now do it.
I feel like we should.
What was that stat you had?
What's that?
Ace, what was that stat you had about the Ravens defense? It was 32nd and what?
32nd
And points allowed.
Points allowed and total yards.
In yards.
But then he fixed the defense by getting traded there. What
That was a
happened?
couple years ago. Well, I mean, it's early, but yeah.
The vibe fixer, right? Oh, I'm perplexed. How could this happen while Roquan Smith is on the field? He's the best linebacker in football, or so I thought.
I feel like we should win some sort of YouTube award this year for that.
Yeah, just for that. Well, Q should win.
Oh,
So.
I'm gonna get some Roquan specific ones. I got time, man. Oh, caught me off guard. I thought he wasn't gonna suck until much later in the season. I thought he would carry this momentum. I didn't think he would do what he did. Whew. Hey, Roquan, appreciate you, brother. I'm back on it.
Not for nothing. I think we do have at least a couple.
We have 3 super chats.
that we
Yeah.
haven't done.
Dragon the event. Yeah, but I didn't want to
No, it's okay.
interrupt
It's okay.
that.
I wanted to make.
I want to let Q enjoy that.
I'm glad
Dragon
we
the
did.
Abandoner says Henry got Tiki Barber disease.
Yeah, put that ball
Hopefully he
high
needs
and
to
away,
fix
Bob.
it. Dragon the Abandoner also shout out to you, man. Appreciate the super chats.
thank you.
Henry lost all aura with that toddler fit. Oh yeah, I hated that. He threw the helmet. Yeah.
Man. They got to apologize to the whole state of Florida for wearing them grills and losing like that and going out like that. They gotta apologize to the whole state of Florida.
Brett C says we need to do more with Metcalf. Oh, okay. So thank you for changing the topic, Brett C. I appreciate that. We are paying him $2 million per screen. Johnson wasn't a healthy scratch. He definitely got a helmet and never saw the field.
Oh, then my fault for calling him a healthy scratch. Then I assumed he was because he didn't see the field. If you look, I would love to see them do more with DK. I agree. But the issue with DK is that he's not great at creating separation. And if you look at the separation numbers, the
That's
first
kind
3
of
weeks,
crazy.
that those numbers kind of get backed up. He's a great jump ball guy, which means that you can still do the downfield stuff with him, similar to what you did with Pickens, who again, Metcalf and Pickens are extremely similar players. So you know that you can still do the downfield stuff with DK because he can go up and get you a bucket in one-on-one coverage. But in terms of him being a pure X that has a deep route tree and things of that nature, he's not going to do much of that. That's why they're doing all the screen stuff and the yak stuff, because he has shown in the first few weeks that he can do that. So different receivers, different skill sets. He's not going to be, a Devontae Adams route runner, but if you give him the ball in shallow space, he can turn, a 3-yard catch into a 14-yard gain. He can take a screen and take it 15, 20 yards. We saw him do it against New England. So different skill sets for different guys.
He's such a weird player.
I agree. He's an interesting case study when it comes to wide receivers.
That's crazy because I did bump into a Seahawks fan at one of my son's trainings, and he literally said that. He's like, he'll miss like the easy kind of, you should make this kind of catch, but then he'll take a screen like 80 yards for a touchdown.
He had a couple drops against Seattle. So I like DK, good receiver and whatnot, but he's a different kind of receiver again, where he'll go get you a jump ball downfield. He'll win. He has multiple jump ball touchdowns this year already. But in terms of, winning in one-on-one coverage with his route running and creating separation, that's just not his game.
There's some guys who, when they go and later in the draft and they turn out to be superstars, and you're like, man, I'm Ross St. Brown. Like, how did that happen? And there are some guys who, even though they're superstars, you're like, I know exactly why he fell in the trap. Right? Like, it's not a mystery to me, but it worked out.
So with that, our pot here's 2 hours long. We'll be back here on Friday.
Oh, hey,
Preview week 4.
before we go, I do want to say something serious. Former Bengals running back Rudy Johnson passed away.
Oh, that's right.
R.I.P.
RIP to Rudy Johnson, passed away due to suicide. Look, if you're dealing with anything whatsoever, be sure to reach out to somebody, call the do whatever you can. You're not alone. Everything's gonna work out eventually in the end. But RIP to Rudy Johnson, good player for the Bengals in the early 2000s. And if you're going through anything, reach out to somebody, talk to somebody. Don't feel like you're going through anything alone. Be all right.
Appreciate that, Jared.
For sure. RIP, rest in peace. We'll be back here Friday, previewing week 4. Until next time. Peace out.
Oh, the Giants